On today's episode of the Cryptoverse livestream, I have decided to ditch what I had prepared today. It is a Saturday, it is the 11th of August, and as you can tell, I am live streaming from my house because the ice cream man has just gone past, so nothing I can do about that. Anyway, if he'll shut up, I can tell you about what I've got. I haven't got anything prepared because that's the point. I didn't prepare to do market roundup and technical analysis today, but I was doing the script for the show and preparing all the news stories, and then I was like, oh my god, this is unprecedented in 2018, so I can't really ignore this. I'll have to put off the stories I wanted to talk about until another day and instead do a live stream up to the minute talking about the markets. But if you'll forgive me, because I'm doing this as an instant stream, I just need to stall for a second here while... Oh my god, here he goes again. So I just need to stall for a second and post the link to this across some social networks. So just bear with me. I can't do that before it goes live is the thing. So I'll just post this on Twitter. Live now for some crypto technical analysis. We're at an all-time low. I'll tell you what you can do in the meantime is if you want me to look at a particular chart, then post your favorite coin in the chat and then I will deal with them in order. There's some I want to look at because I don't think it's as bad as it looks from CoinMarketCap, but I'll talk about that in a second. So live now for some crypto technical analysis. We're at an all-time low in the hashtag crypto markets. Did I say all-time low? See, that's the problem with doing two things at once. I am a very concentrated being, so that's a mistake. All-time low? Oh, what on earth? I'm going to have to do that again, because that's a lie. I'll get murdered if I don't correct that. Copy this tweet. Delete this tweet. Delete. Right, let's try again. We're at a yearly low. Not getting accused of clickbait. And then I have to pop. Sorry, just bear with me for 1 second here. I'll do this. There it goes. Let's see if that works. That's much better. Cool. So back to the markets. So we've got some people tuning in already. Don't know where you guys find out about the stream, but you must be subscribers. What we got here? Let me just redock the chat so I can hear. Oh, 23 Uva says he has some... His grumpy cat, he or she, I don't know. They have some fiat to convert. It's odd, actually. This month, you know, I have a budget every month for investing some fiat currency that I earn into cryptos. Last month and this month, I didn't actually spend it all. I don't know why I didn't. Most months I'm just piling it into crypto. But half of last month's and all of this month's, for some reason I didn't do it. It's odd. And now it's like I've got an above average amount of fiat for a monthly amount of investment sat there. And this is like absolutely perfect timing. Of course, I don't like my major holdings going down in value, but at the same time, I can catch some like unbelievable bargains. So how do we know we're a yearly low? Well, look at the market cap of the crypto space. As of, well, just now before the stream, it was 210 billion. And then since then, it's gone down under 100 grand odd. It's dipped below 210 now. If we take a 7-day view, or when was the last time we were this low? Not in the last 3 months. Let's do year to date. Have we been this low in 2018? Not really. Because you see this, and if you barely see it, this line here, that's the 250 billion line. It's the grey horizontal line. Let's do a little zoom. And we're below that. If we take a yearly view, when's the last time we were down at the 290? Way back here, maybe November of 2017. So this is like pre-moonshot territory, right? Pre-run up to 20k territory. The other interesting thing here is the Bitcoin dominance figure continues to climb. And that's really what's interesting about this. Check it out. If you look at the front page of CoinMarketCap, and you see like Ethereum double-digit losses. That's quite a big one. That will have shaved a lot of market cap because Ethereum is quite big. Ripple, big market cap, shaving a double-digit percentages, etc., etc. But what's interesting is the charts themselves. So check this out. If you look at Bitcoin, which typically leads the markets, it doesn't look that bad from Bitcoin's point of view. If we go here, if you've been listening to the shows this week, go to what? No, I don't want to go anywhere. This is what I've been talking about in terms of like the sideways move, right? I'm going to draw it because when I did it on the podcast, it may not have been totally clear. So I was saying that this here is, oh my goodness, that's snapping to the grid, I think, isn't it? But anyway, if you look at that there, that's the SEC pump and dump about the Bitcoin ETF, right? People speculating in anticipation that the ETF was going to get approved, and then pulling out when the news didn't come and it got delayed until the end of the year. So what I need to do, the reason that was a jagged shape is because I've got my drawing tools on snap to grid. Where the hell is that? In the settings here. Oh, come on. Because when I do my lines, I have it snapped to the grid rather than doing it freehand. Doesn't matter. I'll go without. What I was saying is if you delete that, then it still shows the sideways movement. Let me just draw it as straight lines. That might work just as well. So like I said the other day that we were sort of jostling between 8K and 6K, which would be sort of this zone here. There's 8.5K that we hit recently, and then there's 5,800 right down the bottom there, right? So where's the shapes in this thing? Usually I don't do this on the fly. There we go. So let me draw this. So that is what I'm talking about. That's the zone that we've been in a sideways move. We peaked out of that to try and retest 10K, right? But even the SEC pump and dump, as you'll see here, is inside that range. So if you take it back to, well, even here, which is the 30th of March, we're still in that territory, right? If you'd have bought it here, the 30th of March, and sat through all of this volatility, all the way up to 10K, all the way up to 5,800, all the way back to 8.5K and then back down again, you'd be in pretty much the same position, right? So that's why I said it was sideways, back to the sideways neutral sentiment. Hasn't really changed since then. Not really, despite the big volatility, right? The moving averages keep crossing over themselves and so on, but you get the point. So Bitcoin doesn't look that bad at all. And in order to drag all of the altcoins with it, Bitcoin needs to do a bit of a moonshot. And that's typically how it goes. And because, we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance figure increase, that's probably where all the capital is going. Bitcoin's only down by 4%, yet all this other altcoin value is going somewhere. So some of it's exiting the crypto market completely, and some of it's running to Bitcoin, evidenced by the dominance figure increasing. So that's that. I don't think Bitcoin looks that bad. Bitcoin looks like the best place to be right now. But even Ethereum's took a spanking. A few weeks ago, I was looking at Ethereum when, let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Back here, where it was like on the 29th or the end of July. So Bitcoin was hitting its bottom here at 5,800. So that's the 30th of July area. Meanwhile, on the 30th of July, I was said at the time, and it was true, that Ethereum was looking more bullish. So here is the 30th of July for Ethereum. And you can see it set a higher low. That was Ethereum's bottom at $358, right back here from around the 1st of April. And then Ethereum did a run up and a pullback, but it didn't pull back all the way to its low, its April low. So I was saying, Ethereum looked a lot better. But then I said, and this is on public record because it's in my previous videos, I drew this sort of yellow box saying this is the resistance zone for Ethereum, And I drew that as it was, as this was drawn, and it kind of did this little U-shaped move. And as I kind of predicted there, it tickled this resistance zone and completely failed, and has now fallen off the rest of the market. So that's the altcoins look pretty bad. Even Ethereum looks pretty bad because, like I said here, this is the April low at 358. This is the July low at like $405. But even Ethereum now, you can see my horizontal white lines, which I'll thicken them up because they may or may not be coming through on the live stream very well. So that's the July low at 405. That is the April low at 358. And as you can see right now, this is the daily chart in US dollar terms. Ethereum's bust both of them, which is very interesting indeed. So I don't know. Off the top of my head, I probably hold maybe 5 or 6% of my major crypto portfolio in Ethereum. So that's not hurting me that bad. What probably is hurting me a bit more is I've got quite a lot of EOS, as you might imagine. So let's see what EOS is doing in dollar terms. So looking at this perspective, here is the previous swing low for EOS, around $6.58. It's way below that now, right? It's broken $6 ever since. And what we're looking at now is, let's see here. I'm looking at the previous low. So let's do a real thick horizontal line as to where EOS could go, is there. So that's the next low. Well, that's actually could be the 2008 low. Yeah, let's call it that. Ignoring that stupid candle there. This zone right there where that line is touching it, it's like a tombstone doji candle. It's $3.87, would be ridiculously cheap for EOS, wouldn't it? After this whole blow off top, and then it's been in a consistent downtrend ever since. But that's pretty much the story of the entire crypto market, is it not? Let's see what you're saying in the chat right now. Silent Lambs, the eternal optimist, getting more EOS. Someone says Wilco is going to buy EOS at $1. That would be brilliant. Please explain a little bit of patents and IP. I don't think that's relevant to today's technical analysis and market roundup. Anybody else got anything to say? Well, this is a good point. Blue Sky 77 says we all have EOS staked, which means that in order to transfer it out and sell it, you have to wait 3 days to unstake it. And they say surely exchanges and whales are dumping. Wouldn't it be great if a random whale buys in big and leaves all the sellouts high and dry? I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show recently, but coins that have a staking ability tend to have greater volatility. And it's because staking restricts the supply. And because we're all staking EOS, and say Dash as well, because a lot of Dash is held in masternodes, there's a lot less circulating coins on the exchanges and being traded back and forth. So it actually restricts the liquidity, and that then means that, any decent size move is disproportionately volatile, right? Because if all the coins are in circulation, then it would, the market could react. But because it takes us time to unstake EOS and then react to the markets, temporarily, any major buys or sells move the market a lot further than they would otherwise. So that's one thing that you've got to kind of live with if you're holding a staking coin, is that it's generally going to have more volatility. Some real optimists in the house today. I like it. C3 Nick, C3J is that, or vertical bar, C3 Nick. I love seeing this wash out of weak hands. Looks like manipulation to me, Cryptoverse. Maybe. I don't know. Manipulation, that's usually a volume thing. Let's look at the volume. Pretty big. Pretty big volume on EOS. Look at this. If we pinch this out, what we're looking at is down here. Maybe I should make that more visible. Let's let's make the red ones more visible. So we're not really, because if you look at these big volume bars here, here and here, and here, these aren't even as big as them, are they? So I wouldn't say buying into manipulation. So far, it does just look like just general panic selling and just increasing pessimism. Actually, check this out. I always talk about my friend Juan from Weiss Cryptocurrency Ratings and his financial model and all the rest of it, just because it's been so good for me. When he was talking about the charts the other day, he was talking about this SEC ETF sort of pump and dump, if you want to call it that. The fact that it resolved itself in 25 days flat, which I talked about yesterday, you can draw this out. It took like 10 to 12 days to pump nearly 40%, and then it concluded after about 30 days, so 15 or so days later, boom, right back to where it was. And he said this isn't particularly a good sign because it still means people are looking for those short-term gains. It means people are still optimistic that the bull run's going to happen just like any minute now, right? And what he's saying is that as long as that remains in the market, it's not going to happen. What we need the capitulation phase where people just even give up on that notion that they can speculate on these news events, right? Once all of that has been washed out and all hope is lost and every ounce of optimism has been squeezed out of the weak hands and it literally just goes flat, sideways for a reasonable amount of time, then when literally there is no one left other than the serious hard-called hodlers, then that will be the solid base for real demand to come in, right? But as long as we're still getting these sort of little pumps, it means that those short-term get-rich-quickers are still in the market and are messing with the with the natural way of things, right? Another coin that's really took an absolute spanking is Ripple. So here, we looked at EOS just a second ago. It hadn't bust its yearly lows, but Ripple has done. So let's draw a vertical line. Let's draw a vertical line at, there's the 1st of January. Let's do a big old thick line. So that's the beginning of the year. Let's make it like yellow so you can see where that is. So that's the beginning of the year. And then we've got, let's keep it in, oh my goodness. It's kind of hard to get a whole year's worth of data in, especially with that. Well, let's delete that big one because we don't need that. So this horizontal white line, which I'll thicken up for you as well, that was the previous yearly low. Ouch. And Ripple has taken a nosedive right through that. So it was 42 cents. That's where it was holding a support. And if we scroll back, look, it got near it. That low was 45 cents. But that's the beginning of the year. So Ripple is officially at its yearly low. And some. In fact, you check this, let me do this. If I've got the price line on, so this, I'll thicken that up as well so you can see it better on the, where's the flipping thing? Where's the price line? Price line. Come on, where's the price line? Show the price line. Is that it? Yeah, it is. Yep, symbol, last price. So right, that horizontal red dotted line, that's the current price. So the benefit of that is we can now scroll back. No, not like that. If I keep it in view, I can scroll back like this and keep your eye on the red line. Let's see when the price was last anywhere near that. There it is. The first bar that intersects it is on this enormous pump back from the 12th of December, which was when the crypto markets went into their previous hyper bubble. So that right there. Yeah, the last time it was that low was right in the middle of it going boom all the way up to Ripple hit what? An all-time high of $3.30. So, ooh, ouch. Ouch. So where we are now at 30 cents, even 33 cents, that would be, that would be 10 times higher than where we are now, wouldn't it? Ouch. And this is what the measuring tool's for. If you really want to agonize, you can do that, which gives us a 90% loss from its all-time high. So someone will have bought at that price. Trades went through at that price. The other thing we could look at is what's a reasonable price for Ripple. So say all this year was Ripple just, deflating in bubble terminology. Just say it was gradually deflating all of its speculative value. So where did it previously rest before the mania? Let's have a look. So what we'd have to do is look for some stability. Let's look for some stable price action prior to the hyper bubble. Okay, this doesn't look so bad. This looks decent. Right, imagine if, let's delete all of the hype. Let's pretend it's back in 2017 before the hyper bubble. This is what the Ripple chart would have looked like. And you can see today's price right there. Right, this would have been a line of resistance, and we would have seen it as a line of resistance. We'd have drawn it. We would have drawn it right there at these highs, right? We'd have said, oh, look, this is the point of resistance. It's about 30 cents is Ripple's all-time high, and it's causing some serious resistance here, right? So we would have looked at that. And this is sideways. This is entirely sideways. You've got the 50-day moving average going sideways. You've got the 20-day moving average going sideways. This looks like what was previously fair value for Ripple, right? Not a lot of speculation going on here. Sideways, 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 until it absolutely took off. So it looks like Ripple's back to a reasonable price, look, right? Given this was like June of last year, June, July, August, September, October, and November, all sideways movement around the 30 cent mark. So, Ripple could come down a little bit more, say 24 cents. Let's call it right in the middle of this range here, 24 cents. And that should be pretty decent. That should be a pretty decent resting point for Ripple, given that there's far more people involved now, right? And people were happy to trade it in this range back then, and there were fewer of them. So enough gabbing about that. I don't like belaboring the point. Where's the auto zoom gone? There. So yeah, Ripple's took an absolute spanking. Neo took an absolute spanking as well. I bought some Neo, like, I don't know, about $100, I think it was, which I was buying the dip at the time, but that's nowhere near where it is now. Right, up here, look, I think it was up here. So we'll do the same exercise on Neo, look. So Neo, if we do the vertical line, we look for the 1st of January. There's the 1st of January. So you can already see, from this point of view, there's the 1st of January, there's the price action for Neo. Neo entered the year around, what, $78? Pumped all the way up to a couple of hundred, and then gradually, sort of like Ripple, has been in a all-year bear market, and has now broken its yearly lows as well. So the previous yearly low for Neo was around about there, which will have been $27. We've completely destroyed that and gone down even further to another $10. So you see that when it busts its yearly lows, that pattern looks exactly like Ripple. An instant fall, because this is a confidence level. Support is a confidence level. So as soon as it busts that, people are going to panic sell, thinking, "Oh God, now they don't know where the floor is." But let's take the auto zoom off and do the same exercise. So keeping our eye on the red line, let's go back to see when Neo is back at $18. Way back here. So this is Bitfinex, right? The last time Neo was trading at $18 was on the 14th of September last year, almost a year ago. And that was only like a week after it got listed on Bitfinex, trading against the dollar. How interesting. So I can't really declare what I would like just now. I declared fair value for Ripple at about 30 cents, 25 cents. Whereas Neo, I can't really do that because there isn't enough price data here. There isn't enough chart action showing NEO trading around $18 for any length of time. So I don't really know about that. I'm not going to be buying any NEO for that reason, because I can't really do enough analysis on it in dollar terms. But yeah, oh ouch. It's odd really, because NEO was one of the solid ones that, you know, as a community, crypto community, I thought we all had consensus that NEO was one of the good ones, right? In terms of fundamentals. They had strong fundamentals in terms of being willing to cooperate with the regulators. You know, they had the ontology ecosystem and all that sort of stuff. Maybe that's all still true. Maybe it's just that there's still just too much speculative value on top of this stuff. But we will see, won't we? We will see. Those are the two big ones that really took a serious hammering. We can take a look at CoinMarketCap for any more. And if you guys have any coins you want to have a look at, any of the coins you want to have a look at? Someone says, Weiss is bullish on XRP all of a sudden. Well, they do analyze these things in terms of risk and reward. That's one of the major criteria. So, I mean, we just did an analysis that said that Ripple has dropped 90% from its all-time high. So, I mean, if it returned to its all-time high, if anyone who bought it today would be seeing a 10-time return, wouldn't they? That's not me telling you to do that, by the way. I'm just saying, if one believed it was going to return to its all-time high, then anyone that buys it today, and there are people buying it today, of course they are. Look, it's if you look at, no, that's not an order book, but there are orders going through right now. So some people are selling at 30 cents, some people are buying at 30 cents. Someone's like, my heart bleeds for Ripple. Not. Someone says, Ripple is an unlicensed security. EOS did not have an ICO. Sort of. They did. They did a token sale distribution thing. Oh, no requests. ADA. Let's see what Cardano's up to. Cardano looking a bit stronger than the others. So what we got? Cardano's not showing that same pattern. Look. Cardano's remaining flat, while the NEOs and the XRPs of the world show this sort of thing. So Cardano's done it early. It's already had its little, you know, XRP style drop off, and now it seems to have stabilized. But let's see, when's the last time Cardano was this low? There, on the 18th of March. That's the last time Cardano visited this price. And actually on that day, it went even lower. This is in Bitcoin terms. This is measured against Bitcoin. Cardano hit 1,673 Satoshis on that day. And then prior to that, well, it wasn't that low since the beginning of the massive parabolic move. And then prior to that, Cardano was like 300 Satoshis. So that's still a bargain. I'm not sure. I'm definitely not going to buy anything today. Not while the chaos is going on anyway. I definitely would want to see everything settle down. Stabilize at the very least before I go in. Because I did test the market the other day. I said, didn't I, on the show. I did test the market out by buying a very small quantity of EOS at like $6.50. But the reason I bought a small amount was because it was at this support line, right? And I was making a small bet that EOS would hold at $6.50, right? A small bet, because it was in a downtrend, right? It was sideways, but all the moving averages were moving downwards, so there was a chance it could break. It did break, so it was a good job I only bought a small amount. Look, here's some news coming out of Weiss. As Crypto Globe is reporting, Weiss ratings. It says XRP is the fastest digital asset to transfer funds between exchanges. Is it now? I did try and use the Ripple network the other day. I had some in my Ledger wallet, and I actually wanted to just split the funds into two wallets within my Ledger, because I wanted to categorize them into two accounts, one for one portfolio and one for another. And I tried to send the Ripple from one of my addresses to my other address inside the ledger, and the transaction failed multiple times. And then eventually it looked like it had gone, and I checked back later on and it hadn't moved. So I don't know what's going on there. That could be a ledger problem, I suppose. Let's see what they've got to say about this. Weiss Ratings declared XRP the fastest asset to use funds between exchanges. It all started with a plea from an XRP fan, C3_Nick, who's in the chat. It says to Binance CEO, we would like to see Ripple as one of the base assets on Binance in order to move value much more quickly. Does that mean we want to trade everything against XRP as the base currency? Fair enough. Needless to say, this tweet received an enormous. Is that supposed to say enormous? It says enormous amount of support from other XRP fans. Well, given XRP is supposed to be that, and it's supposed to be a back-end settlement network for the banking system, I suppose I don't see why we couldn't use it for exchanges. It says, now let's look at what led to Weiss Ratings' declaration that XRP was the best way to move funds between crypto exchanges. We don't have to do that. We can logically work that out for ourselves, like I just did. XRP is designed to be that, is it not? But they ran a poll. It said, which is best for moving funds between exchanges? Out of 7,500 people, almost 80% of people said Ripple. So I'd be happy with that. I don't want to hold Ripple, and Ripple's not meant to be a store of value, is it? It's meant to be that settlement layer. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that. We could use Bitcoin, but it's too slow, isn't it? If you want a really quick network. But you could also use a lot of other quick networks. You'd use EOS, you could use Neo, you could use Cardano when it launches, all the rest. Interesting. But that was a news article that was fed directly into a TradingView here. C3Nick says, what do you think about District X? Especially when looking at Coinbase adding 0x. District X and 0x are closely connected. Even Coinbase alumni are on the team. I haven't looked at District X in a while. What's the symbol for District X? DNT. I used to be a big fan of this, but I haven't studied it in a while, so I don't know how far it's moved on. It's pretty low it's pretty low right now. I mean, there's not a lot of point in analyzing individual charts at this point because they all look pretty much the same, don't they? And they've all got their moving averages moving down, and they're all hitting yearly lows pretty much, with the odd exception like Cardano and whatnot. I can't really speak on the progress of the project District X, because I haven't looked at it in a little while. I used to be a big fan of it though. DigiByte is the best. DigiByte did have a good old pump recently. DGB. There it is. There's the DigiByte pump. I think I bought some DigiByte ages ago. I think I bought it like here, somewhere around here. I think it was around February time when the markets were good. And of course, it's been underwater for a while, that trade. But when it pumped up here, I think it was up like 30% or something. And then it's come right back down to this level, which it seems to like this level at 415 Satoshis. See, this group of candles here is around that. There's a lot of interaction here. And then after this was a news pump, I think it was. And now it's come right back down again. But yeah, I like me some DigiByte. Any other comments? Yeah. I've kind of run out of steam now, so I might play out at this point, because I did not prepare this. I've literally done all this off the top of my head. I did prepare something to speak about, but at the last minute, I thought I'm going to have to just go live and start talking about the markets. Because otherwise people ask me about it. Chris, how can you not be talking about the markets when they're hitting yearly lows, right? So that's what I did. But I'm going to leave it there, I think, because I've been rambling for 35 minutes and I'm not sure this is going to make for the best recording in the world. It was more for live interaction more than anything. So thanks very much for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, please hit the like button. If you disliked it, you can hit that button if you want. Get subscribed if you're not already subscribed. And subscribe to the Cryptoverse YouTube channel. You can also go to my website if you want to learn like introductory courses on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You can get either one of these courses, The Secrets of the Bitcoin Triangle or The Digital Money Revolution, for $19.99. You can just go to cryptoversity.com, click on courses, and then inside these pages is a discount link that will get you the courses for $19.99. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter ID is chrisjsconey, so you should totally follow me there. That's when I post other news that I don't include in the show, post live streams, retweet some good stuff and all the rest of it. And if you've got a bit more time today and you want to carry on listening to me, check out yesterday's episode where I talked about the Bitcoin price cycle in more detail and how it was affected by the old SEC news reaction. Other than that, guys, I'll be back with the next episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.